Hello and welcome to another edition of Browns Latest. I am Dave Grendzynski, and this is where you can get your 10-minute take on the latest happenings involving our Cleveland Browns. If you can, please like this episode, like all of the episodes, and subscribe to the channel. Coming up on today's show, we're going to talk about the 6th round pick. The Browns have 4 of them, some work to do. We're going to look at whether or not they might find a gem in round 6. We'll also talk about Memphis quarterback Seth Henig and what could be the thing that keeps him from becoming a very good NFL quarterback. We're also going to talk about the roster rankings are out. And guess what? The Browns are not last. We'll let you know where they ended up. And hey, we've got some great viewer comments to share with you today. But first, let's get to the 6th round pick. The Browns have 4 of them, folks. And can you find a gem? Well, everybody knows the most famous 6th round pick. And he made, I don't know if you're ever going to top this in the 6th round, but Tom Brady, of course, everybody knows it. Quarterback for New England in the year 2000. You know, a Hall of Fame career, of course. He's on the NFL's 100th anniversary team, you name it. He's done it all the Super Bowls. 6th round pick. So can it happen? Yes, you can find a superstar stud in there, I guess. But up to this point, it's really only happened once. But there are good players that have been in the league that were drafted in the 6th round, like running back Terrell Davis from Denver. How about Larry Kinnebrew? Used to play for the Bengals back in the day. Had almost over 3,000 yards rushing, 47 touchdowns. Antonio Brown, yeah, Pittsburgh. 7 Pro Bowls. The rest of it, yeah, his career ended a little crazily, but he was a 6th round pick. How about this? Mason Crosby, the kicker, with Green Bay for so long. Jay Novacek, the stud tight end with the Cowboys. He was a 6th round pick. But here's one for us, folks. Doug Deacon, the Browns tackle from back in the 70s. In 1971, he was a 6th round pick, played 14 seasons, made the Pro Bowl, 195 starts, and of course, he was on the radio call as the commentator on the Browns network for so long. So Doug Deacon was a 6th round pick. And so in this draft, though, I mean, you won't know until you get there. And so, because it's so hard to pinpoint them, but they're talking about guys like Dante Thornton Jr. from Tennessee, maybe Logan Brown from Kansas could fall into that 6th round and be somebody teams might look at. But another guy that they are talking about that could be there in that 6th round is Memphis quarterback Seth Henig. The question is he draftable? They're talking about him in the 6th round, but, could end up being a free agent, but we'll see. But this is a guy, he's 6'3", 215 pounds. Memphis is in the American Athletic Conference. Schools like Army, Tulane, Navy, East Carolina. So, I mean, say what you want about the competition. Here's the thing, though. He's got a lot of experience. 2021, he started 11 games, 25 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. In 2022, he started all 13 games, 22 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. 2023, probably his best year. He started all 13 games, threw for 32 touchdowns, ran for 5, and had a stellar year, second team All-American Athletic Conference that year, his junior year. And then last year, take what he regressed a little bit. 25 touchdowns and 6 interceptions, but he did tie the AAC record with 104 career passing touchdowns. So there's that. I mean, he has improved. He's got a lot of experience, a lot of games under his belt. I like that. So there is nothing wrong with that. The one unique thing about his career, he wore a different number every single season. He wore 14 his freshman year, wore 5 his sophomore year, wore 2 his junior year, and then last year wore number 9. So if I was him, I'd go with number 2 since that was his best year out of the 4. So, I mean, decent numbers, decent size. I mean, there's some things there, but the knock on him is he's not instinctive. And they say he may not be physically talented enough to win off schedule, meaning if a play breaks down and you've got these NFL defensive linemen and linebackers and corners chasing you, he may have a lot of trouble getting away. But that's what the experts are saying. Now, here's the other thing, folks. And this could be the thing that keeps him from becoming a very good NFL quarterback. He's got small hands. Yep. Same thing like Kenny Pickett. And so everybody always talks about the hand thing at the combine. So Kenny Pickett, 8.5-inch hands. We got him. Well, we already got one guy with small hands. So could we handle two? I don't know. His hand size, smaller than most. So I went and looked. Listen to this, though. Taysom Hill is the next guy closest to Kenny Pickett as far as small hands are concerned. But you know who's right there in the mix? Joe Burrow. So take it with a grain of salt. And by the way, Will Levis and Anthony Richardson are among the NFL quarterbacks that have the biggest hands. So, we see what's going on with Will Levis, and look at what Anthony Richardson, even big hands doesn't equate to being able to read a defense and run an offense in the NFL. And so, why is this draft so important? Well, here's the thing. The new roster rankings came out. The Athletic ranked the rosters, and they got the Browns. Here's what they wrote. They got, out of the 32 NFL rosters, the Browns are rated 27th. Only New England, New Orleans, Las Vegas, the Jets, and the Titans were worse. So we got that to go on. We're going to build off of that. But here's what they said. They said the good news is the defense should be good. Okay, we'll see about that. But the problem is you got to score points, and the offense is a mess. And so, and they mentioned Flacco and Pickett. But here's the thing that really is concerning. The Browns' offensive tackle rate among the bottom 10. So their offensive tackles are brutal. And obviously, we've talked about it many times. This roster has a long way to go. And so that is why this draft is so critical, folks. And, even with 4 6th-round picks, I don't think they're going to use all of those. I'm sure there will be some trades involved as the draft moves along. But they've got to hit on some of these picks. There's no if, and, or but about it. They have got to hit on these picks. And so it's going to be interesting to see which way they go. They're going to have to be sure, and they're going to have to nail these picks because you can't. This is the first time we've had a first-round pick since the Deshaun Watson debacle, and so you got to make sure you get that one right. And so I still think they're going Travis Hunter. And then, you've got some picks that you can use to move, or like we talked about, there's some positions that go very deep in this draft, and you should be able to get yourself a good player. All right, we'll wrap it up today with some more viewer comments, and we got some good ones today. So Jenny Stryker said, hey, she's telling the Browns, she's pleading with the Browns, please draft Sanders so the Giants don't. Unfortunately, Jenny, I don't think it's going to happen. I think what it will happen is Sanders will end up with the Giants. I think that's where they wanted to be ultimately all along because it is the media capital of the world. But we shall see. I think we'll end up with Travis Hunter. But that remains to be seen. But here's a good one. We talked about Tyler Shuck on a previous show. And David Darby says, I am wrong about Tyler Shuck. He played against Notre Dame. Because remember, I hate ACC quarterbacks because there's no defense in the ACC. So he says, I'm wrong because he played against Notre Dame, Miami, and Clemson. And then earlier in his career, he played against better defenses with Oregon and Texas Tech. And so, he says, I see that he says, I see you don't watch much tape. I have watched the tape, and he doesn't pass the eye test for me. And in that Clemson game, they won. Louisville beat Clemson 33-21. He only threw for 156 yards and no touchdowns in that game. And then Miami and Notre Dame. Miami, they lost 52-45. No defense. But he did throw for 4 touchdowns in that game. And Notre Dame, they lost that game too, 31-24. He threw for 264 and 3 touchdowns. And so we saw what happened to Clemson and Notre Dame in the playoffs. They got obliterated. So yeah, he may have looked okay, but still, like those, if he's doing that against, Alabama and Auburn and Ohio State and Penn State and these top elite defenses week in and week out, then I'd say yeah, but I'm just not seeing it. But David Darby, here is why you may prove me wrong. My Greek friend Thrasso Thrasavoulou, who is the greatest amateur talent evaluator that nobody knows about, but I know about him, and I trust his opinion. He says Shuck should go the same route as Russell Wilson. He says Seattle signed Matt Flynn to a deal in the offseason, and they also drafted Russell in the third round. He said Russell played so well that he took the job from him and then took them to a Super Bowl. He thinks Shuck has good experience and good football qualities. He thinks he has a decent chance to make it. So, David Darby, my Greek friend Tharasso is on board with you, and I will tell you, Tharasso with these quarterbacks is usually right. Me, not so much. So we shall see. I hope he does end up with the Browns, and I hope he proves me wrong. All right, that's going to do it for our show today. Please like the episode and subscribe to the channel. Draft day is almost here. Get ready, folks. Go Browns. We'll see you next time.